Hello everybody, my name is Brooklyn, otherwise known as TheDramaticOtaku, and welcome to my Studio Ghibli official tier list ranking video. Now, I'm making this video because, spoiler alert, I have watched the entire discography of Studio Ghibli, spoilers for the wee wrap up for next month. I've spent the last month watching every single Ghibli film, and I wanted to rank them in a tier list today because a couple years ago I made a video being like, what your favorite Studio Ghibli film says about you, and I never ranked what Studio Ghibli films that I liked. I just inferred that I liked Howl's Moving Castle, and that was about it. So today we are strapping in and doing a tier list video for Studio Ghibli films. Now, this is all of the feature films. This doesn't include any like extra films as well. I think the only technical extra films is the Earwig and the Witch film, because I don't think that was meant to be theatrical. I saw some conflicting things saying it was supposed to be something to do with TV or as a home release or something because it came out in 2020, but these are technically the theatrical releases of Studio Ghibli, and it is all 25 of them at the moment. If I'm missing any, I'll be really mad because I specifically put the Red Turtle Boy and the Heron and Earwig and the Witch on this list. So yeah, and you may be wondering what the fuck I'm holding. Well, this isn't a Studio Ghibli film without some little guys. So I have two Totoros. I have this Totoro, which is my favorite, and I have this little guy who I got from online from Hot Topic a couple years ago. So I've got Totoro, and then I've just got my little guy because he's my little guy, and little guys need to be needed when we are talking about Studio Ghibli. Anyway, so let's just jump into it. So I have the S, A, B, C, and D system. I didn't really change it up this time, and so we have all the films. This is in no particular order. This is sort of just the order that they were uploaded by whoever made the tier list. And again, I just added the Red Turtle, Boy and the Heron, and Earwig and the Witch because it hadn't been updated. So, starting with Kiki's Delivery Service, we're going to make that the baseline as it is a B tier film in my personal opinion. Why is it a B tier film? I just felt like it was half a film. Like, I felt like there could have been more to Kiki's life. I would have liked to see more of Kiki. The problem that I see with a lot of Studio Ghibli films is that, like, they feel half finished, and like, I get that's the point of like, you don't get to see everyone's life, you just get to see a snippet, all that sort of shit. I felt like this was just straight up half a film. There wasn't as much like magic and whimsy like I thought there would be when the main character is a witch. So I found that disappointing. The second half is a lot faster than the first half, yada yada yada. In general, it's not a bad film, it's just not my favorite film. Moving on, next we have My Neighbor Totoro. It's been a while. Now, okay, while I do have Totoro aplenty, I am probably gonna put it also at B. I like Totoro because I like Totoro. The film itself, I haven't watched it in a while, which I know is unfair to the film, like when I'm ranking it, but it's just like a film about a cute creature. Like, I know it's about these girls and like there's like a whimsical adventure with creatures, and like I like the cat bus and all that sort of stuff, but I like it more for the creatures and the characters rather than the actual plotline itself. So it's not a bad film, but it's not a like top tier amazing adventure kind of film that I have come to expect with Studio Ghibli. So next we move on to The Tale of Princess Kaguya. Now, this one personally is an A tier film. I loved this. It was like so emotional and like sweet. It literally made me cry. I thought the artistry was fantastic. The art is beautiful. I absolutely love this film, especially in the art style that it's in. It's so just not like Miyazaki's art style. It's unique. It really stands out as being like different from the other films in the Studio Ghibli catalog, and it's based off of an actual like mythology which I really love. I love learning about mythology from other countries, especially Japan. That's what got me into anime in the first place. I was really interested into Japanese ghost stories, and that sort of spiraled me into anime in some degree. So, moving on, we have From Up on Poppy Hill. Why was there a potential incest romance? I am probably gonna put this, I enjoyed this film a lot, for the most part. First half, amazing, cute. When they got into the potential that the two love interests could be related. So this gets C tier. I was uncomfortable, babes. Like, yes, at the end of the film, they weren't related, but the fact that they teased that they could be, and that was a main plot point in the film, why? And what's bad is that this is one of Goro Miyazaki's better films. It's probably the best film of his. Okay, realistically, once we get through the list, I'm probably going to move it up to B tier, but I can't get over that, okay? That is a major plot point. Why? Moving on, we have Only Yesterday. I'm gonna put that in D tier solely because of how boring it was. It's cute, I get it. I understand, but I nearly fell asleep while watching it. Quite literally the most boring Studio Ghibli film that I have ever watched. And we have Ocean Waves on the list, babe. So, yeah. Next is Pompoko. I'm gonna put that probably B tier. I think B tier. I liked it. I would say I liked it more because it was like funny and whimsical. I liked it more than like From Up on Poppy Hill, but I liked it around the same mark. I like it less than the likes of, say, Princess Mononoke. I feel like the story of Pompoko and Princess Mononoke, while they are completely different films, completely separate stories, they are very similar tonally. And when I say tonally, I mean like their messages of being environmentally friendly and shit. Very similar. When I watched Pompoko, I couldn't help but think of Princess Mononoke. So enjoyability wise, I thought it was very fun, very funny, but like it's not my favorite. It's sort of on par with My Neighbor Totoro in terms of like the weird characters. Also, why did I have to see their balls? The Cat Returns. So I actually really enjoyed The Cat Returns. It's really funny, it's really cute. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna put it in A tier just because I thought it was fun when I watched it. I would go back and watch it again, like time and time again. It's a really fun. When I ended up watching Whisper of the Heart, I was seriously reminded of The Cat Returns. So yeah. Next one is Castle in the Sky. This one immediately gets S tier because this is probably one of the most enjoyable Studio Ghibli films that I've ever watched, and that is not an understatement. People like, I used to not watch this film or want to watch this film because I thought it was like totally overstated. Like, what's it called? I'd watched My Neighbor Totoro and people were like, this is such an amazing film, it's so cute. It's cute because of the creatures. So I thought Castle in the Sky was going to be like disappointing to me like My Neighbor Totoro was initially. I thought My Neighbor Totoro was going to be more like jam-packed and stuff like that. It's more slice of lifey. Castle in the Sky did not let me down. It is so fun and campy and the dubbing is so funny. Very 80s, which obviously it did come out in the 80s, I believe. And like, I love it. It is so funny. Like, I can't understate how much I love this one. Next is Spirited Away. I don't like Spirited Away. I can see, compared to all of the discography of Studio Ghibli, how Spirited Away is like Oscar Award nominated, Oscar Award winning, whatever. That sort of stuff. I can understand that. I can understand why it is so highly regarded, so critically acclaimed. That's what I've been looking for. I didn't like it. There is a lot that I felt was missing from Spirited Away that I felt like, and to this day sometimes feel like, I am missing like a critical piece of information that just is not provided in the story. That's my main gripes. I love the art, the like skill, and the amount of detail that is put into Spirited Away is really highly commendable. This personally for me is going into A tier solely for the artistry of it. I also love the soot sprites. They're probably my favorite thing from Studio Ghibli, my favorite little guys. I was not a fan of Spirited Away. Like, solely for the story, I really was not a fan whatsoever. I can get liking it for the art, for the sound design, for the creatures, but liking it for the story, that's where you lose me. So that's why it's an A tier instead of an S tier film. Now, Grave of the Fireflies, the next film, is most definitely an S tier film. This made me cry so fucking hard when I first watched it. So, Grave of the Fireflies is obviously extremely tragic, and like, I have watched it time and time again. Each time I cry because it is just so sad. Like, it's really pretty, but also just so fucking tragic. Like, oh my god. It's really hard to talk about this movie in a positive light because of the subject matter and how depressing it is. But that's what makes it so good. So if I need a good cry, I'll watch Grave of the Fireflies. It was one of the first Ghibli films that I watched and that I really genuinely enjoyed without like people having recommended it to me before. And so yeah, that's why it gets S tier. Next is Howl's Moving Castle. It gets S tier because I am biased and this is my list. I've always liked Howl's Moving Castle, though it took me a while to realize that this was in fact a love story and a romance. Studio Ghibli and romance I can never understand because it feels forced, so fucking forced, and you'll see that with my next entry onto this fucking list. But after a while I got it. Is it still a little forced to me? Yes. But I am biased. Thus S tier. So next, in talking about forced romances, is Ocean Waves. This also gets a D. I liked this more than Only Yesterday, but I thought that the female character was a bitch and didn't understand how her and the main character were endgame. How is that a good romance? She used him the entire time. She was ungrateful to him the entire time. How the fuck were they endgame? How was he in love with her? How was the best friend in love with her? Like, that is what I don't understand. Am I like a little more confused because I watched that video essay about how Ocean Waves was unintentionally queer? Yes, and I could totally see the queerness in Ocean Waves, but how was the main character and the girl endgame? She was nothing but mean and rude to him. That is what I don't understand. It was boring still, but more enjoyable compared to Only Yesterday. Like, genuinely Only Yesterday is the most boring Ghibli film that I've ever watched. Ocean Wave is a good second, but Ocean Waves is like a hate watch because I hate the female protagonist. I have my issues with Ocean Waves. I'll be fighting. I'll fight the bitch. When Marnie was there, why wasn't it gay? No, let me change that. The protagonist is gay. Why is Marnie her grandmother? Could have been such a good, like, the lake house romance, and yet you made the main character gay and her potential love interest her grandmother. I refuse to believe anything else. So personally for me, this gets A tier. It's really enjoyable. I really loved it a lot. It's not often also that Studio Ghibli makes the love interest related to the protagonist. But it's weird that it's happened twice. So when Marnie was here, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was such a cute story. And like, if you were queer and watched that film, it is so evident that the protagonist is queer. No fighting, she is queer. That is most evident. She gets betrayed when Marnie does not pay attention to her, isn't her friend, is dancing with a boy, for fuck's sake. But Marnie, of course, had to be a grandmother. This could have been such a good queer romance or a queer story, and instead it wasn't. It was around family and stuff like that, which I get the appeal, I get now knowing, like, I knew from the beginning that Marnie was her grandmother, but as I was watching, I couldn't fucking believe it. But I understand the family aspect. I understand the plot as to Marnie being so important to the protagonist, and like how the protagonist was essentially hallucinating and all that sort of stuff. I'm really sad about is how it could have been a really good gay film, and how the subcontext of the film is very gay. It's A tier. I really enjoyed it. The art was fantastic. That story has got me through loops, but I really did enjoy when Marnie was there. Next is Ariete. This one I'm also actually going to put in A tier. This one, like, I really love. I analysed it for a media piece, at least for a sound design piece. Sound design in Ariete is really good, especially like because it's like small characters, like it's Thumbelina. So it's like small characters, big world, how are you going to do the sound for that sort of stuff. I can appreciate it on that sort of spectrum. I also really enjoy the story. Do I wish there was more? This is one of those stories, much like Kiki's Delivery Service, where I felt like it was half the story. However, because of the conflict within the house, it was more of a plot line than Kiki's Delivery Service. Kiki's Delivery Service didn't feel like it had an actual storyline, if that's why it felt like it was half a film. Ariete felt like it had the start, climax, conclusion, all within the house, but they were leading off into more. And that is what I would have wanted if they had also added more. Granted, that would probably have just been like a sequel. Next is The Wind Rises. I am going to put this in C tier. Now, first of all, this is the longest Studio Ghibli film I've fucking sat through, or at least it felt like it, because it took me 2 days to watch 2 hours. The first half of the film, it's interesting. The like actual sound design aspect and the artistry aspect I really appreciate. I like how like the sound design for a lot of the first parts of the film and like the more like dreaded parts of the film is actually people making sounds with their mouths. However, there's some aspects where I really think sounds weren't there when they should have been there. For someone who really enjoyed learning about World War II planes, the fact that I didn't like a film that's essentially like a fictionalized biography of a aerospace engineer, I'm not sure what it is. People who make planes. The fact that I wasn't a huge fan of it, like, spoke volumes to me. I liked the second half of the film because of the romance, but couldn't get over the fucking fact that the girl at the very start of the film ended up being the woman that he would fall in love and marry. Especially when the blur of time is really not made concrete in this film. It is like one scene is 1 year, one scene is the next year, and it feels really weird. So it gets C tier because half of the film is just a bore to get through, and like the rest of the film, it's interesting enough, but it comes a little too late. I feel like it could be its own separate film, the second half of the film. Next is a classic. This is being Princess Mononoke. I'm gonna put this in B tier because I cannot watch Princess Mononoke anymore. But it just triggers my anxiety now. Back in the day, I really did like it, but I haven't watched it in a while. As I said, it triggers my anxiety. I really like the artistry of it. I think the kodama that are in it, again, little guys, but those are what got me interested in anime in the first place. Like I said, I was really interested in Japanese mythology, and that led me to Princess Mononoke. I cannot remember the plot for the life of me. I remember how I feel about the film, and I do like the artistry of the film. I think that the spirit of the forest is really pretty. I think like the art is fantastic. I just can't remember anything of it, and when I did watch it, I was a little bit bored by the people. So yeah, speaking of bored, Tales of Earthsea. What plot? Where is the plot? Tales from Earthsea gets D. It is by far, no joke about it, one of the worst Ghibli films. And it's not because it's insanely boring, it's because there's no plot. Not a single ounce of plot. And by that, I mean like character motivations and shit. We don't understand why characters do what they do, they just do it and it's really boring. And half the time we spend in a tiny little fucking hut. For no reason. I just feel like it should be the first chapter of, or the first scene of a longer movie. I did have Cobb. I liked his voice. Willem Dafoe was a good choice, especially for someone who whispers. I played Willem Dafoe whispering multiple times because I really liked his voice in this film. He saved this film, but not from the boredom. There is an actual plot until the end of the film, like the very, very end of the film with Lord Cobb. It's just, in my review for this film, which you will see, I have like 10 minutes worth of notes, like to speak, because I was just so baffled by the film that I just couldn't help but take the piss out of it and write jokes and shit about it. Every other Studio Ghibli film that I'm reviewing in my web wrap-up this coming month is like really short, maybe 1 to 4 sentences, maybe a paragraph. My Tales from Earthsea review is like 6. I go in on this film. So it gets a D tier. Next is Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. I'm gonna put this at C tier. It's a classic hero's journey, like quite literally. For Studio Ghibli's very first film, I believe. It's pretty good. The like dubbing is okay. The sound design is really, really nice. I love the sound design of Nausicaa. But it's the most plain hero's journey film that I've ever watched. Which for the first film of a studio is understandable, but by today's standards, it's a bit boring. But there is a lot to appreciate about Nausicaa. Next is Ponyo. Ponyo gets B tier because Ponyo pisses me off, like the character. I like the concepts. It's very cute. It's like a little mermaid. But Ponyo pisses me off. That is the most important thing. So it's B tier. Next is Pocoroso. I actually really liked Pocoroso. I'm going to put Pocoroso in A tier. I liked Pocoroso. The thing that like sticks with me the most from Pocoroso is obviously his tagline, I'd rather be a pig than a fascist. In general, I actually like the story of Pocoroso. Again, it has that thing of like, I wish there was more. I wish we knew why Poco was a pig. There are things in these films where it's like, the thing that draws you in is never explained, never explored in the film. Like, what brings you into Pocoroso? Why is he a fucking pig? Never explained. He just is. Can he not be a pig anymore? Maybe. Literally, that's the answer. Maybe. So I feel like there should have been more. Like, the same happened with Kiki's Delivery Service. You think it's about a little witch. It is about a little witch, but not doing spells. Where's my whimsical magic witch? She's just doing deliveries. That's the witch? Why is she not doing witch things other than just deliver? You have so many stories about these grand witches. Fucking Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, Earwig and the Witch. For fuck's sake. All these stories about witches. And Kiki couldn't explore magic to become a grand witch. She does deliveries. So, yeah. That's something with Ghibli I also don't like. My Neighbors, the Yamadas, that is going to be C tier. I thought it was cute. Thought it was very cute. It just wasn't my vibe. It was very episodic. Yeah. Whisper of a Heart was not what I was expecting, and the chokehold that Country Roads has on this film. I liked the romantic element, but I have learned information that this was actually a book beforehand, and that the story was almost completely different in the original Whisper of a Heart. So I do want to read the original Whisper of a Heart, especially because there is a live action Whisper of a Heart, I believe, coming out either this year or came out last year. I'm putting Whisper of a Heart in C tier. Again, slow beginning, rushed ending. So, moving on, we have The Red Turtle. I will also put this in C tier. Conceptually, really liked it. Very artistic. Not the most enjoyable Ghibli film. I liked it because it was really chill and it kind of felt like I had ambience going on while I was writing a script for a different video. I did pay attention to the actual plot and like it is like metaphorical and shit. I like it more for its artistry and its atmosphere than I do for its actual like plot and character development because there's not actually a lot of that. Next is Earwig and the Witch. Earwig and the Witch gets B tier. Fuck you. I liked Earwig and the Witch a lot. I like really liked it. I thought it was really fun. Yes, Earwig is a bitch, but I thought this was whimsical and fun. This is what I think of when I think of Studio Ghibli, whimsical and fun. Do I think there could have been more plot? Yes. Much like what I've said with fucking Kiki's Delivery Service, Arrietty, Poco Rosso, there should have been more plot. What we got, we should have been giving more of. Like, quite literally, that is a major problem in a lot of Ghibli films. What we expect is not in these films whatsoever, and it is something that pisses me off about Studio Ghibli. I know it's diverting expectations, but that has happened so many times, not only in Studio Ghibli, but Studio Chizu does it as well. They did it with Belle, they did it like, oh, what other film did they do it for? Mirage, all that sort of stuff. Specifically, Studio Chizu and Studio Ghibli are really good at, and I hate it. I hate it so much. So, Earwig and the Witch was really fun. I thought it was fun. It could have been more. It looks like it was a pilot to a TV series. If Earwig and the Witch turns into a Studio Ghibli TV series, I will watch it because I think it's fun. Do I think the 3D animation is a bit gaudy? Yes. This would benefit much more being 2D animation in my personal opinion, but I feel like most people hate it because it is 3D animation. It is really enjoyable. I like it pretty much as I like Kiki's Delivery Service because I like the character and the shittiness of Earwig. It's really funny. I like how much of a brat Earwig is, even though she does get really annoying sometimes. Now, the final film, Boy and the Heron. Call this recency bias. Boy and the Heron gets S tier for me. I really, really enjoy Boy and the Heron. It's super fun. Really enjoyable, and I loved the ending as well. Yes, it also suffers the fate of I wish there was more to this film, because there is something inherently missing out of Boy and the Heron, but in artistry I would say it's up there with Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, all that sort of stuff. I really, really liked this film, and like after having watched this film and then going and watching Earwig and the Witch, The Red Turtle, Ocean Waves, Tales of Earthsea, Nausicaa, From Up on Poppy Hill, The Boy and the Heron is genuinely a really, really good Studio Ghibli film. And it really stands out, especially in the last couple of years for what films have been released. Especially compared to the last Miyazaki film, this big The Wind Rises. I enjoyed this so much more because it is so much more whimsical and fun. Something that a lot of the best Studio Ghibli films that not even rated by me, rated by like the entire anime community, the best of the best Studio Ghibli films are whimsical, they're fun, they're a little bit confusing, and they're always like really, really well animated and really like just all around stunning. Like 10s across the board kind of shit, right? Even if the story suffers a little bit. So personally, The Boy and the Heron gets S tier for me. Could there been more done? Yes, but I personally really, really enjoyed it. So this is my endgame tier list with my mini reviews on all of the Studio Ghibli films. In the end, my A, B, and C all seems to be like the same amount. I would say probably the only one I would switch is I might put From Up on Poppy Hill higher. From Up on Poppy Hill higher. That and The Red Turtle. I liked the films. I just think they suffer in one way or another. Again, the Red Turtle is more like ambient and artistic, and that's why I liked it more. From Up on Poppy Hill is more enjoyable, but I can't get over the fucking plot. In S tier, we've got Castle in the Sky, Grave of the Fireflies, Howl's Moving Castle, and Boy and the Heron. These are my top favourite Studio Ghibli films of all time. Then in A tier is The Tale of Princess Kaguya, The Cat Returns, Spirited Away, When Marnie Was There, Arrietty, and Poco Rosso. These are ones that I really enjoy or really love artistically, but there is something that just falls flat that doesn't make these like my absolute go-to Studio Ghibli films. For example, Tale of Princess Kaguya makes me cry a lot, but like it takes a while to get there. The Cat Returns is like really cute and fun, but if I want cute and fun, I would probably go to either A Whisker Away or Ni no Kuni as well. Spirited Away artistically is fantastic. There is something about the plot of Spirited Away that pisses me off because I do not get it. When Marnie Was There, so disappointed in like how the subtext is very much queer, but it's not a queer story and it's about family members. Arrietty, enjoyable. I've analysed it. I really love it. Poco Rosso, something about that film strikes a chord with me. I don't know what it is, but it is just enjoyable on that level. Next, B tier. Earwig and the Witch, Ponyo, Princess Mononoke, Kiki's Delivery Service, Totoro, and Pompoko. Earwig and the Witch, really fun, really enjoyable. Obviously, has its pitfalls, has its downfalls. Ponyo, really enjoyable film, but I fucking hate Ponyo. Princess Mononoke, I like the concepts, but I can't watch it anymore. Kiki's Delivery Service, so much potential, really didn't like where it went and feels like half a film. My Neighbor Totoro is good just for Totoro. Fight me on that. No, I like Totoro mostly because of the whimsical characters, but that comes at the fault of the plotline for me personally. Pompoko, again, feels very much like Princess Mononoke, but with more fun and enjoyable characters. Pompoko is the enjoyable Princess Mononoke. Princess Mononoke is the serious Pompoko. C tier, The Red Turtle, From Up on Poppy Hill, Whisper of a Heart, My Neighbor the Yamadas, The Wind Rises, and Nausicaa. All of these are good films in their own right. They either just don't gel well with me, have a plot point that I can't get over, or have an element that I can't get over because it's so humorous that it takes me out of the film, or is so bland that it takes me out of the film. Then D tier, I cannot stand these films. Tales of Earthsea, Ocean Waves, and Only Yesterday. Only Yesterday is legitimately the most boring Studio Ghibli film. Ocean Waves, equally as boring argumentatively. I also hate with a passion the female lead and don't understand why she's endgame. And then Tales of Earthsea, what the fuck is going on there? But that is all for my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have definitely enjoyed making it. I decided for some reason that I was gonna throw glitter on my face for this, and now I'm worrying about how to get it off my face. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed making it. I've had these thoughts in my brain for a while, especially having just finished the entire discography of feature films from Studio Ghibli. And yeah, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. I really hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I liked making it and watching the films. What do you guys think about Studio Ghibli films? Which ones are your favourite? Which ones do you hate the most? Please let me know down in the comments down below. And I hope to see you guys next week at 10 AM Australian Eastern. Like always, have an amazing day, night, weekend, whatever time you're watching this. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!